Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gifted Generation Presents Financeology 101. Today's session is part two of paying down your debt and creating an emergency fund. I'd like to welcome my husband, Elroy, as well as our guests, Ryan and April Dozier. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
All
what's
Hey,
going
right,
on, everybody?
the Doziers,
hey, hey, hey.
Doziers. So it is so great to have you two on, Ryan. You guys, man, I really love what you do, man. Your MC, man. You like the MC of all MCs, man. So I admire when you put a mic in your hand, man. Things start to happen. In April, you always make people looking pretty. I remember when we did what was it, Rob? We did something. Oh, pictures recently. And my wife came home and I said, "Can you keep that makeup on for a couple of days?" I'm dating the other woman this time. So you do a great job. So with that being
Thank you.
said, why don't y'all tell us a little bit about yourself and go ahead and promote your business, April. I want to say you do a great job when it comes to making people looking pretty. They're already pretty, but you magnify it and make them look that much better. So if you can tell us about yourself, your business, and you got any sites you want someone to visit, it's your opportunity to talk about that. Now we're also going to talk about it in the end also.
All right, ladies
Oh,
first.
okay. Well, my name is April Dozier, and the name of my business is Adorn Beauty. I am a licensed esthetician and professional makeup artist. I have been doing makeup for, oh my gosh, I think a little over 13 years now.
Wow.
I do all types of makeup for all types of occasions, from weddings to proms to special occasion, birthdays, going to the grocery store, you name it. I have done it. But feel free to hit me up. My website is www.adornbeautymua.com. And my Instagram handle is adornbeautymua as well. And
Okay.
definitely check out my work. You can see all my visuals and all of my looks on Instagram. And you can get a little bit more about me on my website as well.
All right. All right.
We can
All right,
definitely
Um,
now, Ryan, you
tell the
wanted to
people where
promote?
Oh, and I'm located in Raleigh, North Carolina, but I'm willing to travel.
all right.
you
Hey,
All right.
when you really blow up, you're gonna be traveling in and everywhere. So they're gonna be
I
calling
receive
you,
it.
booking that plane for you. You
know,
gotta start
right.
Exactly.
you're gonna
That's
start
right.
turning people away, girl.
Yes, sir.
Just don't turn us away.
I won't. I won't.
Oh, man.
All
Mr.
right,
Dozier, you
Ryan.
want to talk about
Yeah.
yourself a little bit, Ryan?
Okay, my name is Ryan Dozier, and of course, I'm married to the beautiful April
Oh, and I'm
Dozier.
married to Ryan.
Yeah, she forgot that part. It's okay though. I guess it's my week to be Tina, her week to be Ike,
Ike.
so it's all right. Not a problem. Oh man. But let's see a little bit about myself. I am a pastor, a staff pastor at Raleigh North Christian Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. However, I have been preaching for 21 years. So I started preaching at the age of 20, and this November coming up will make 22 years. I I've had opportunities in times past to speak at revivals and youth conferences, as well as men's conferences and anniversaries. I've also done some in my past some armor bearer training um, in my earlier years, I guess you could say. And then now, like I said, I'm on staff at Raleigh North Christian Center. I am the young adult pastor, as well as the outreach pastor, and other things that fall under me as well. But I really love doing ministry. I love doing what I do. I often say I love what I'm in, and I'm in what I love. So, but my greatest joy is being a husband and a father to our beautiful 8-year-old daughter, Miss Lydia. And yes, so if anyone want to connect and have me come speak at an event, just email me at bookryanspeaks at gmail.com, and on Instagram I am at justryan79, and you can get in contact with me there. Just something like my wife, I have MC, because Elroy, you have made mention of it. I have MC a wedding reception, a 16 sweet 16 birthday
Party.
party. So I mean, I do other stuff besides preaching. So if you want me to come do that, whatever, hey, we're gonna have some fun.
Wow. That's a lot that y'all have been doing. And I know there's been some highs and lows and different things that you guys have learned over the time. Now, y'all said y'all been married how long now?
Be 16
16.
years in June
Sweet
18th of this year.
16. We need to have a sweet 16 party for y'all then.
Oh
And you guess what?
yeah.
Yeah,
You can empty your own party, Brian.
that is
That's right.
right.
And I'm gonna do everybody makeup
There you go. There you go. There you go. You can pay yourself too while you at
and pay myself.
Yes.
it. So I do have a question. What is a esthetician? What is that? What I mean,
That's a good question. So, an esthetician is basically someone that studies the skin, and they're licensed to administer facials, whether it's like a chemical
okay.
peel, something that's dealing with chemicals, but they study the skin, and
Okay.
you want to take care of your skin before you put all that makeup on, right? So,
Right.
it's good to at least go to school. When now it's mandated in North Carolina that you have to be licensed
Okay.
to be an
Okay.
esthetician to deal with some type of chemical, whether it's
Okay.
applying lashes or doing facials or what have you. But it's good to know and to be educated on the skin before you
Okay.
just apply makeup, because
Okay.
you want to take care of your skin.
Okay. Well, let's start a little bit right there a little bit. So I know you just didn't jump into this here. I knew you had a job before this here. This is probably like a hobby that you was getting used to doing before you
Yes.
jump full in. And I want to talk to Mr. Ryan there. How did your wife come to you to say, you know what? I want to make a switch? Because when you make a switch in career, and it's kind of like not like a 9 to 5 job when
Mhm.
someone is
Mm-hmm.
paying you and now you got to go out and make that money. What was your first thought when it came to finances, my brother?
You know what? Initially, it was me that was pushing April to leave,
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
because I noticed as she continued to skill her craft, and
That's a
people
good man right
kept
there.
calling,
Okay.
she would have to miss appointments, or basically miss opportunities, because she was tied down at a 9 to 5.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so initially I kept pushing her, and I said, look, just go ahead and leave. I don't care. Just do it. Just do it. Because in my mind, I'm like, girl, you're missing all this money.
I was the one that
Right.
was hesitant.
And so
Wow.
she
Okay.
was she
Okay.
was hesitant. Now, after the step was made, which was June of 2019, then that's when it hit me, and I said, Lord, what in the
What did we just
world
do?
did I just have my wife do? Because being, transparent, I did not think beforehand. We didn't come together. I didn't say, hey, babe, let's put a plan together, and
Okay.
let's wait until the end of 2019 so we can save up money and stuff like that. It
Okay.
was just because I remember when I had stepped away from the school system in 2015. I spoke to somebody about that, talked to April about it, and their advice to me was, well, man, you have years built up, so you just use your retirement money. Because at that time, I wanted it to be a motivational speaker,
Right.
and things of that nature. So I basically gave my wife the same poor advice, really. I was like, look, you got retirement. We can use retirement money, which we did, to jumpstart the business and things of that nature. But still, there was no plan to say, okay, we ain't think about when wedding season slowed down
Okay.
and birthdays and proms and all that slowed down. But through that season, though, and April can speak more to it, we actually found out that she actually made more doing makeup than she did when she
Wow.
was working.
Wow. That's that blind faith right there, boy. That's it.
Yeah.
Get in.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything with that, babe.
Yeah, that was the plan to use some of our funds from my job to kind of
Okay.
kickstart starting off with the business. And it was hard. It was a hard decision, but it was to the point where I was basically leaving on my lunch break to go do makeup for clients.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I'm coming back late for lunch, and
Okay.
I was also a supervisor
Oh
over
wow.
at the job. It was definitely a leap of faith, but I knew that I was at a crossroads where I had to make a decision,
Okay.
and just really step out on faith. So what I did was I reached out to professional makeup artists that stepped out as well, and they began to mentor me, and letting me know, look, your first year might be a little rough, but
Right.
you establish yourself, going into the second and third years, you should be fine. And that's basically, what I did. We stepped out on faith, and it was like, oh my gosh, I just stepped into an unknown. What in the world
Right.
did I just? But
Dude.
what's
Wow.
crazy, at the day after I left my job, I kept getting clients and contracts
Mm-hmm.
back to back that whole summer. Like it was ridiculous how much money was coming in.
Wow.
Me being off of a full-time job
Right.
and really doing something that I truly love.
And that's what probably made it scarier. So when you said you was scared, was it more scared of because of the unknown you was going to, or was it just because of? Because I know you have a solid spiritual belief. Is why it's the reason why you jumped out. But was
Right.
it more or less like a financially scared? Just because you got
Yeah.
Ryan pushing you to do it.
Right.
And So what was your what was the biggest thing you've been hesitant about? Just the
I
unknown.
I was financially scared because when you're working for someone,
Mm-hmm.
you know at the end of the week or the end of those 2 weeks or end of the month,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get a check.
Right. Right. Right.
Versus working for yourself,
Right.
it's how you make your
Right.
money
Yeah. Yeah.
determines
Yeah. Like
you
a
actually.
salesman. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so here comes the creativity, and here comes being proactive, and you have to figure out ways to keep your business going.
Right.
So it's like it was a month to month. They're like, oh my gosh, okay, what's going to
Okay.
happen next month? And every month, clients would flood, whether there's a wedding contract
Right.
that would come through, group photography sessions coming through, and going into the second year, which was
Okay.
2020, a whole pandemic. I made more money in a pandemic than I made my first year starting out without my full-time job.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess people want to look good while they're at home too, don't they?
Yeah.
So listen. So now with you going from a 9 to 5. I'm just saying 9 to 5, even though it may not be 9 to 5, just a figure speech. And you get your paycheck coming in every month, 2 weeks bi-weekly, and you knew exactly how you had things coming in. With the switch of the unknown and your variables of income coming in, did that make you guys sit down and say, we need to start building our financial plan for the future? Did that wake you guys up to your finances as far as what we're going to do moving forward?
Tremendously.
Yeah.
And
Most
how so?
definitely.
And talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
I think for us, when I was on the full-time job, I think we didn't take it as seriously as far as the budgeting. It was one
Mm-hmm.
of those things where when you get paid, you give your tithes and you
Right.
pay your bills. you know,
Okay.
but it's different now because each month you're like, okay, I need to know what's coming in
Okay.
so it can balance out what needs to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
you know um so it makes you think things a little bit differently. It makes you think ahead
Okay.
as far as working for yourself, making sure you have enough gas money, enough grocery money. But when you're starting out, it is, it can be a little rough because you're like, okay, what am I going to make the next month? And so
Okay.
now you got to set these goals to make sure you're matching up with what those bills are going into the
Okay.
next month.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
Wow.
it was it really made us look at how we were managing our money. And as April said, it made us say, okay, well, this week we not eating out. This week we
Okay.
cooking everything at the house. And the blessing about, the pandemic and COVID and whatnot is that we actually saw how much money that could be saved because at the time last year when everything was fresh and everything was just coming out and rules and regulations were being put in place, we couldn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't consider myself a cook. April is the cook. I grill,
Okay.
and I did so much grilling last year from March basically on up to December 2020. But I really enjoyed it. And then, of course, we enjoyed not having to spend money. So
Okay.
that really made us pay attention to how we were doing things.
Okay. I always use the phrase either gonna be taught or it's gonna be caught. Sound like you
Yeah,
guys caught it.
yeah,
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 we caught
Sound
it.
like
yeah,
you caught
yeah.
it.
We called, yes, yeah, we called it.
Because I know you guys. Because when you guys at one point in time taking some of the classes that the church offered.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes,
And
yes.
what did you guys benefit from that? I mean, what was your biggest thing that you may have gotten out of that? I know a lot of people, either wives take it or the husband take it. Do you think it's beneficial that both parties take the class, regardless if one's a spender, one's a saver, and why so?
I think it's beneficial for both the
Both. Yeah.
husband and the wife to take it together. Even if a couple, a man and a woman, even if they are engaged, that is like if they are. I'll speak from the engaged side first. If they are engaged or they're thinking about going down the road of marriage, they through that class, the financial learning education class, they are given the ultimate cheat code from
Mm.
Jump Street to figure out how they want to do their finances. Go ahead and find out who's the spender, who's the saver.
Okay.
Because back in 2005, when April and I got married, we at our former church ministry, we didn't have a class like this. So, like I've heard April share with couples a lot of times, we got married. Yeah, we got a house built from the ground up, but we were broke, so we were house broke.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
And we didn't know anything. We heard about budgeting, but we didn't know how to do one. And
Right.
so now, with us having taken the financial learning education class, it was a huge eye opener. And for me personally, sometimes I felt like, doggone it, Ryan, if you would have paid attention, when y'all
Mm.
first got married, you all would be much further ahead than what you are now. But,
Mm.
we also know that timing is everything. And
Right.
so,
It's never too
yeah,
late.
it's never too late. The best thing I took away from the class was that it is doable.
Mm.
It's doable. It's not, I just always made it out to be this horror story in my head of
Okay.
when you talk about budgeting, you just got to completely stop spending everything. You can't do nothing,
Okay.
but the class taught me you don't have to do that.
It
Wow.
also taught me, because you always hear, well, pay off your debt, pay off your debt,
Mm-hmm.
pay off your loan, pay off your
Mm-hmm.
house loan, and pay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how?
Yeah,
Like
right.
everybody always gives the end of it, but give me the meat because clearly my 9 to 5 is not going to take care of this.
Right.
But what I learned, what I appreciated
Need
about
a strategy.
financial learning is they gave us strategies on how to do it, Oh, well, then just go work part-time, or go clean a building, or figure out a different stream of income, open up a franchise, open up a vending machine,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
little stuff like that. And I know, you know, to me it might be small, but we believe that it's going to blow up. Even Lydia wants to
Yeah.
have her own business,
Right.
just and
Wow.
and like last year, she did the bracelet business, which we're going to pick up again this spring.
Hmm.
And the bracelet business alone, we made custom bracelets with everyone's name. We ordered charms, and I mean, it was really cute. That girl made almost $1,000 over the
Hmm.
summer.
Right.
And y'all didn't promote her business just now. That's, y'all, you gave Ryan's information and you gave April. No one said anything about Lydia.
I didn't say anything
Look,
about
look,
Lydia.
because it's April and Ryan that's gonna have to do all the work.
All the work.
April gonna have to make the bracelet,
That's
Lydia is
okay.
definitely a
Listen,
and
CEO.
and I'm gonna have to take them
free
to the
labor.
mailbox.
Yeah, y'all free labor. It's reversed. Where we get the labor out of the kids getting it out of the parents. It's called free labor.
Good gracious! So no, we ain't promoting this.
But no, it's the strategy on how to pay off our house. And when we
Yeah,
looked at it, it was like, wow, it's not as hard as we think it is.
Right, right,
It's just a matter of doing it. So our
right.
goal in this house is, we're working on multiple streams
Yeah,
of
right,
income.
yeah,
right.
Not
Wow.
just one income, not just book Ryan speaks, or not just makeup artistry, but you have an umbrella of businesses, and we're still
Right,
working on some stuff
right,
that creates multiple streams of income where we can get to where we need to be financially and still have some money saved up.
yeah,
right. So did y'all have like a discussion? Like most people they have tons of debt. We know like the two biggest ones is your car and your house. So we always put that like what that's going to probably be one of the last things we take care of. Did you guys sit down and come to agreement and say, okay, here's what we have on the table, minus the expenses. Let's try and attack X, Y, and Z. Once you figure out what you said, people are telling you to pay off these things, but they didn't give you a strategy. Once you
Mm,
guys learned, once you guys caught it,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
then now you're being taught it. What was you guys' strategy as far as coming together as as a couple and as a union as one to say, this is what we're going to do? And when that happened, was there some disagreements?
We okay, so we have two vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to go back to the Dodge before the Camry, right? Okay, so when I mentioned earlier that I stepped away, I was working in the school system for a while, and when I stepped away in 2015, we still had two cars making two car payments, and at the time I had a 2008 Dodge Avenger, and it was close to being paid off, but it wasn't. And so I said, man, how in the world am I going to make these payments being out and stepped away from this job? And, I'm trying to use retirement money to get my speaking business off the ground, all that.
Right.
Well, when I made that leap of faith, actually someone came along, and it's something, Elroy, that you always say to me weekly, really. A gentleman came up to me. He said, "Man, I just enjoy whenever you get up in front of the church and just, do your thing, man. I want to give you a gift." And I said,
Wow.
"Okay." And what he gave me was the exact amount that
Mm-hmm.
was left to
Yeah.
pay off the Dodge.
Shut up.
Now we could have used that to buy
Yeah,
some shoes,
some shoes, but
Wow. Gotta
because
get
I
one of
was
those feet.
tempted.
but that thought process changed.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so I was like, wow, so this really can happen. And so when we felt what it was like to have one car payment gone, that's when we kind of started having the conversation back then.
Okay.
We were saying, well, if this can happen, then maybe we could see what's going to happen with the Pontiac, you know. And
Okay.
so as time continued to move on, I continued to pay down on the Pontiac, and sometimes whenever I had extra, I would just apply extra to it,
Okay.
and then the Pontiac is now paid off, and so
All right.
we're like,
Come on now.
oh
Come on.
wow,
All right.
and that was year what, babe? Like 2018.
I think it was 2018.
So
Okay.
we're feeling good, like, oh my goodness, man, this is how this goes. But then the Dodge let me down, of course. So I had to go purchase another vehicle, so April could have transportation. And so bring it up to your question, we have had conversations of what debt we want to attack, what do we want to pay off. And so now we just working towards that. And and like I said, and April just mentioned, now we're just trying to figure out, okay, what other streams of income can we create, can we bring in to help pay that off? Because of course, and I don't know, you all might mention this later, but we want to have Lydia start not from 0, but we want her to start on 10.
Right.
And leave that legacy intact.
Yeah, she's in Girl Scouts too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I see her do some of those cookies. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a good start. She got her own business. She's in Girl Scouts. She's learning the foundation of what it takes to get out there and be in front of people to say, "Give me your last dollar because I need it right now." So,
Right.
And you know what? And we forgot to mention, we even opened up her a bank account.
Yes, she has her own savings.
Her own savings account last year during the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? I like what you guys said. You guys took the opportunity to pay off your cars, even though you had to buy another one. That didn't discourage you from continuing on. Most people would be like, "Oh well, I tried and let it go,"
Right.
Right.
and you can't because life is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be able to adjust and roll with it, but continue on that journey. And I like that you guys are motivated and ready to do this thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes. Because I mean, it's just we tasted it. We've tasted it on that level with having 2 cars paid off, and now still just having 1 car payment. And so since we've gotten that taste, we want to have the whole meal.
Hello?
Oh, okay.
Hello?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
We want.
Somebody got muted.
Yeah. Somebody
Go ahead.
calling on my phone. I'm wondering if I should put it on airplane
Do not
mode or
disturb.
something. Yeah. So but now we want to taste the whole meal.
Right.
Of being debt free.
That's right.
Wow.
I like that. I like that because this journey is not easy. So,
Lord, no.
but you have to want it bad enough.
Right. Yeah. And you exposing your daughter to finances of the world at an early age. Well, typically, I'm not going to speak for all of our background and history of what we typically do. We don't speak about finances in a household, and this is what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get people to be comfortable
Right. That's right.
with finances.
Yeah.
Because it ain't always the pretty picture. We try to paint a pretty picture like I got it going on, but then when the lights go off, sometimes they don't get turned back on.
Yes,
But
Lord.
it's what's so crazy is I'm more relaxed working for myself now
Wow.
than
Okay.
I was on the job. So if I was on the job and we were talking about finances, I would cringe. I probably would have told Ryan, I'm not going on this on this pod beam to talk about finances. I will not. But it's I don't even know how to explain it, but because the faith has grown so much that you realize finances is it's not bad like you think it is. It's just a matter of coming out of it and a matter
Right.
of just doing it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right.
you're not.
Right.
It's not going to hurt you to save here and to save there and to pay off your debt because you want to see the end goal. We want to be in our new house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So now we know what debt we need to pay off. And actually, we really don't have a lot of debt, but we do have enough where, okay, we got to pay just a few things
Right.
off to,
right.
get
Okay,
our credit score where we want it to be. It's
right.
decent, but it could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
Right.
doesn't. It doesn't make me cringe anymore. It doesn't make me fearful like it used to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
yeah,
And April, I think your level of comfort comes from being in control. You're now in
Yeah,
control of your financial destiny.
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
right.
So that
yeah,
brings you some peace that it's what you make it.
That's
yeah.
right.
And yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the biggest, before I go, I write myself a note, men, because I'm gonna forget this comment. So I think the biggest things for men is that, we look at, and Brian, I applaud you for just doing it, because a lot of men, I can't speak for everybody, I'm just saying this situation, the people that I've talked to,
Mm-hmm.
men, we're like, well, you gonna do what? Well, are you gonna be able to replace this money with X, Y, and Z? Are we gonna miss a beat? No. Is it a pay increase? And they forget about the potential growth in the area of the job opportunity that it presents to them.
Right.
We look at the now, we don't look at what it can bring. And what you guys did, you looked at the potential of April just growing in ways that no job can give her. You didn't look
Yeah.
at like,
Right.
well, we're gonna be shortchanged for the next few months, but now we can't make this move, and now you're stuck,
Right.
and you
Right.
miss your
Right.
window. What pastor say? You miss your window of opportunity. It may take a whole nother year before it comes back around to
Exactly.
you again,
That's right.
if at
That's
all.
right. That's
So
right.
I
Exactly.
applaud you, and I wish more guys would step into that faith role where we would support our wives when and when they come to us by a dream or a vision that they have, and we see finances first before we see their future.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
Right.
So I call it painting a canvas, type thing. What I mean by that, there, God's giving you a blank picture. He said, "Here you go. Here's your two brushes. One for April, one for Brian Dozier. You got all the colors in the world. Now I'm painting me a picture. It's up to you to design that paint, that portrait of what you want to have, that you
That's
want
so
God to
true.
see.
Right.
That's true.
You can say, you know what? I'm gonna stay in this job. I ain't got to paint anything. All right. And somebody said, you know what? I'm going to paint X, Y, and Z, and it get to work. And every time you take a stroke, God is right there in control, making sure what you're giving to Him, He can apply it to what you're doing also. If you're not doing no work, what's the rewards?
Right.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
There
right.
is none. So
And
what
what's
you
so?
guys are doing,
Oh,
you guys are doing a marvelous job there, man. So I applaud you in that.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
I applaud you in that. So, and this is why we wanted you guys to come on, is just to talk about just the general things that you guys have learned over the years. Some of the highs in your lives and some of the lows in your life. Your daughter and some of the things you guys have encountered over the years, because it's not easy. First of all, making a career change and
Right.
raising a
Mm-hmm.
kid that and trying to do a business and
Yeah.
Right.
work in the gospel, I should say. In the church house.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
And
It's
I would add that what was so crazy was just a transparency moment. There have been times where I would say, Ryan, you want me to go on Indeed? Just say the word. Because working in the beauty industry, there are highs and lows in the beauty industry. So I have learned that first year that in the fall, you need to save your money because after the
Mm-hmm.
holidays, January can be very dry because everybody has spent their money
Oh,
during the holidays in
right.
the beauty industry. So a lot of people don't get their hair done in January. A lot of people don't get their makeup done or facials or what have you in January. It does not pick up until after tax season, maybe starting towards the end of February, but definitely in March. And so I will admit, in January, I said, Ryan, you want me to find a part time? And he would look at me and would be like, no, you're going to work this business.
right. Right. Right.
You're going to be creative and
Right.
you're going to go forth. And every time I even think about it, something comes through.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been and this is probably a little Elroy. This might be a whole nother separate podcast, but it's something that I learned from my father, because when I was talking to him about getting married, and I was talking to him about marrying April, my dad told me, he said, son, whatever April is better in, you let her do that. And it doesn't mean that you less of a man. If she is good with numbers, son, and she's good with money, Let her handle that, and you all just do it as a team. And
Right.
so, of course, I can't do no makeup. And so when April, kept toying with the idea, I just said to myself, man, you know what? Let me go and kick her out this bed and be like, look, just do it. Because there were days, she was coming home from the nine to
I'm
five,
leaving my
and
job.
she would be, yeah, I'm leaving my
I'm
job. I'm
tired.
tired of this. I can't believe I got to do this. And
I
so
don't want to
forth.
go to Rocky
I
Mount.
don't want to go to Rocky Mount. I don't want to drive. And at that time though, ladies were calling and wedding coordinators were calling her and photographers
Totally
were
ignoring that.
calling her. And I kept saying, Mama Bear, look, these people are calling you.
Yeah.
I know, but I gotta go to work
I
and
gotta
I
go to
can't
my
miss
job.
that.
I gotta go to
And
this
so,
meeting.
and I'm saying like that, okay, it's being placed right in front of you. This is the reason why you need to
Yeah.
go ahead and leave.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And so, and back in January when she did ask, I kind of looked at her like, no. On the inside, I said, Ryan, what are you saying, son? You need to tell her yes. But I continue to say, I fought that, and I continue to say no because I did not want to damage what she has already
Mm.
worked so hard for.
Wow.
And like you just spoke about windows of opportunity, I didn't want her to miss a window of opportunity. It could be that she's one contract away
Right.
from being set up for the rest. I'm saying her life, but our life, because I don't know who's watching her work. She had the opportunity of doing Tabitha Brown makeup in August of what was it,
That was 2018.
2018,
Wow.
and I mean, so who knows what other celebrity might reach out to her, and
Yeah.
I don't want to stop that.
Thank
Wow.
Cause
you.
that means if she get on the plane, Elroy, I get on the plane
You get a
too.
ticket. We get a ticket. We all get
Hey,
a ticket.
hey, come on now. Come on. That's the golden ticket right there. That's the real
Yeah,
golden ticket right there. Yeah,
yeah.
that's incredible. Rob, you got a question you want to ask them?
No, no, I'm looking at the dashboard. I don't see a
Okay.
question yet, but
Okay.
I do think it's I commend you guys. I know we've been saying that throughout the podcast, but your vision and your dream is so
Hmm.
big,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
you're living it. Most people can't even say that. Most
Right.
people are in
Yeah.
fear of living their dream.
Hmm.
You're
Right.
living it. So I hope that
Right.
when people hear the podcast,
Hmm.
whatever dream you have, step out on faith and do it.
yeah,
Right.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So let me ask a person a question. You can say
Okay.
pass. uh,
Pass.
so
No, go ahead and ask us.
So I've always, when I talk to people, to try to make sure they have different, not streams of income, but just how they're managing their money. Do you guys have, an allocation of budgeting that's set aside for like, I know the business does, so you get operational costs for like maybe travel, you have a Christmas club, emergency fund, 3 to 6 months. Have you guys sat down and started that financing of those different types of things? And so what other accounts do you guys have besides, if you do have those things, besides just the few I just named?
We are working on that
Yeah.
because it's funny you mentioned that. I have just been saying to April, I need to open up another bank account. Simply because I want to get to a point where the main account that we already have
Mm-hmm.
at one bank is just strictly going to be for, bills, right?
Right,
And I want to have another account or several other accounts to where it can be as we heard our pastor say last week, do whatever account, or like we've learned in the financial learning education class, it's your pocket money. This is,
right,
hey, babe, we going out
right,
tonight, nails, hair, things of that nature.
right.
So far as emergency fund, I will confess and be transparent that I have been horrible about that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. What's funny is, as April was getting ready to go to the studio this morning, she went to start her car, and the car didn't start. And I said,
Mm.
"What? I just got this oil change, and gotta fix some stuff for the weekend. What you talking about?" However, I did not know that the battery that was in the car, well, it's gone past its warranty because it's a 2015 Camry. I
Mm.
bought it in 2018, so quite naturally, the battery that was already in the car had not been changed out. But
Right.
thank God that I already had the funds to be able to go get the battery today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so even while I was in that, that was another, okay, Ryan, go ahead and start this
Yep.
emergency fund,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
You
Like
know,
it's saved money, but it's not in a saving.
yeah,
Right.
Does that make sense? In a saving
yeah, we had
area,
earmarked
Yes.
it,
like
yeah,
earmark it.
Right.
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 So
Right.
I think for us, everything is in one pot. It's just a matter of earmarking where
yeah,
it
Yeah.
spreading
needs
it
to
out,
go.
yeah,
Let me ask you a question because I speak about that a lot of times when people put, let's say you got $1,000 or $2,000 on one account, and then they take some money out, they feel a little bit of stress. So I always, like Brian, you were saying, I always try to encourage people to have and Ryan, you may be at a bank that may allow you to have a separate savings account already there, where you don't have to go and open up a separate account to have,
hmm,
because and credit unions are really good at that too. They allow you to
right,
have several savings accounts. So even though you had the money earmarked, was it a little bit of a strain to say, "Man, I gotta take this money out"? How do you feel about when you had to take that money out because of even though it might have been less than $200? How did it make you feel? One, you had it, but two, you still had to use it, even though it was part
yeah.
of a bigger pot.
I felt good that I had it. I felt like a
Right.
boss. I was like, yes. But then, it was a little strain at the cash register. I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
good gracious
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But now here's the funny thing. At the auto store where I purchased the battery from earlier
Hmm.
today, I had a credit, a store credit merchandise card because I
Okay.
had gone previously to the auto store to get a power steering pump for my other car. Well, I didn't need it. They couldn't refund my money, so they put it on a
Oh
little
wow.
store gift card.
Okay.
And I told April, I said, "Girl, I almost threw this thing away." So I grabbed it.
What's in your house?
Yeah, what's it? Yeah. So
Ooh, yes.
I grabbed it and I took it with me, so it knocked down, of course, the total amount significantly. And so
Wow.
I was able to then and that took the stress off. I was like, wait a minute, I got this car.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
Wow. So I'm gonna give you a little clue here. That car was your emergency fund for your automobile. And that's exactly how it should feel when you have an emergency fund,
Hmm.
stress free, pain free. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
to me, I'm looking at that as God saying, this is how it feels when you plan for emergencies.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he kind of planned it for you to give you that feeling of this is what you need to get to, but also
Hmm.
here's how easy it can be. I want you to feel that it was a victory in the face of what most people call defeat because it was an emergency. You still saw the glory in that. You know
That's
what?
right.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
came out ahead because I had this. And that's
Yes.
what emergency fund's about. I have this set aside. So you know what? Take it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm serious. I really was getting ready to throw the car away because I said,
It was
it's
like a
not.
ram in the bush.
Yeah, I don't
Mm.
frequent Advanced Auto. It's not like the grocery store or anything. So what I need to keep holding on to this car for, but
Yeah,
it
that's
was for this morning.
But that makes a lot of
wow.
sense when you said about emergency fund. That's how you're supposed to feel like, oh, let me pull this ram out this
Right.
bush.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And that's how and that's the feeling of I planned for it, I got it, no big deal. I will replenish it in due time, but at least I know I have it for this time here, and you just keep it
Right.
moving. There's
That's
no
right.
stress. The blood pressure don't go up, and having that gift card, like I said, it really was your emergency plan that was in
Mm-hmm.
waiting, hiding, waiting for you, and that's the feeling that you need to have. Like, wow, I won on this one.
Yeah.
That's right.
You won
That's
on
right.
an emergency. How often
Yeah.
can you say that?
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's victory within itself, right there, my man. Right there.
That's good. That's good.
Okay,
And you
let's
wait
see
a
here.
minute. One
Go
one
ahead, babe.
one thing. You, you guys say you weren't good at saving for emergency fund, but you have done it already. You just didn't call it that.
Yeah.
We just never called.
Yeah, we never
Again,
called it.
Right.
Right.
we just had that pot.
Yeah.
Right.
But we never called it emergency
Right.
funds. And I
Right.
think it's probably more so mental
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead and just recite that in your head.
Yep.
Emergency funds versus just the account.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like getting
Right.
money, because you will cringe a little bit, like, oh, that's a minus $100 from the
Right.
account. Oh my
Right.
gosh, my balance is now blah blah blah.
You said it. You said it.
Right.
You said it. It's a line item and it's a mental connection to emergency versus a travel club fund, and you got to take that travel club money to fix a tire. Now
Right.
I'm mad. But when you say in your mind emergency,
Mm-hmm.
it changes the whole dynamics of how you feel for that particular situation,
So
and
true.
it allows you to
So
say,
true.
if it did it for me this time, what can I do when I'm fully funding my finances for my emergency fund?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It changes. The dynamic
That's
changes.
right.
It changes your whole thing. And now your daughter is seeing that too. So one thing I always try to do is try to include my kids in my decision making with my finances, showing the bills, showing the checkbook and stuff like that. Let them know the impact of the decisions, good or bad, that we've made as a family,
Mm-hmm.
how it's going to impact us. So with Lydia out there selling cookies and doing her business with the bracelets, also include her in some of the decision making. She's never too young to learn, because the earlier we get exposed, the smarter she will be later in life.
So
Because
I never
true.
thought about that.
we as black people, we lack that, because we think it's too much for our kids to learn. I said no, it's not enough.
Right.
That's
It's
right.
it's not
Yeah.
enough, and the time is really now.
Yeah.
There's so many things we can teach our kids, and I applaud you guys from where just making the decisions that you've made and where you come from, your financial perspective and your the journey and your goals, and taking the classes, because we know they ain't all easy,
Right.
Right.
and I often said that Robin was we was doing something, what, 401k, and she was like, we need to save money. I said, no, we need to eat. Ain't nobody got no time to put no money in no stock. I can't eat no stock.
I know that's right.
That stock can wait. Well, just imagine if I
Wait.
listened to my wife before we started saving money, how much further we would have been. So I'm saying
Yeah.
to you guys, sometimes you might want to stop and pause and take heed of what your wives are saying. They ain't all crazy as we think they
Right.
are. She crazy. She crazy. She don't
Right.
want she want to put some money, some $15 or something.
Yeah.
What kind of stock is that, man? I can't do with that.
But you know what,
That's
Elroy?
true.
Again, back to my dad, and I say, it might be a podcast or whatever, that my father told me, again, when I was talking to him about getting married and marrying in April, he told me, and I had heard the story growing up, but that day he told me, he said, son, I used to have a dump truck business. And he said, had I listened to your mama, we would be a lot further along than we are
Wow.
now. Now, this was back in 2005 when him and I was having this conversation. And, he'll, part of his story before he gave his life to Christ, he'll say, but boy, I was out there drinking that oil. And I was, I was spending my money. Because as you just said, he said my mother told him, she was doing his books. She was just telling him, look, just save, just put away $5 a week. And while we were having this conversation, he said, this is something I could have passed on to your brother and yourself, and we could all be in this business together. He said,
Right.
as you said, as most husbands do, as most men do, he said, I didn't listen to my wife. And that's what prompted him to tell me, whatever April is better in, listen to her and let her do
Listen to me. I won't
again.
stir you wrong.
that. You ain't stirring me wrong
I
yet.
will not stir you wrong.
Oh, that is too funny. Avery, you are something else, girl. I tell you, I love your energy, man. I love what you guys are doing together as a unit, man. That's
Thank
why
you.
Thank
we
you.
wanted to bring you guys on together. So, because sometimes we hear part of the story, we don't get the other half of the story. Me and Robin's on this podcast, and people, they hear what we're saying, they hear both sides of the story. Like I said, I don't mind sharing it with my downfalls, and some of the
Right.
things that my wife has enlightened me. I'm like, man, people you thinking back, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Man, we've come a long way.
Good
Yeah,
gracious. I
Yeah.
so
mean,
I try to
woo,
encourage people, it may sound crazy, but you might want to listen to your wife every now and then.
listen to her. Any
Mm-hmm.
brother out there, you listen to the podcast right now or later, and you're married,
If you want to live and not die
listen to your wife.
and
Tell them, April.
declare the works of the Lord,
Listen to your wife.
Amen. Amen.
obey your wife.
Amen. Amen.
And you will live a long life.
A long life.
Yes.
Hey, I'd be the first to say, and Brian, right along with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you learn along the way, but you're hoping that you can pass on this, that somebody else may not make the same mistakes. Because right now, there's a brother out there listening, and he's thinking, "Oh shoot, let me go
Yeah.
back and
That's
talk to my
right.
wife right now."
That's
Go
And if
back,
right.
that's the
bro.
case, look, it can change your whole dynamics in your
Go
relationship and
back.
your marriage. It really can.
Yeah.
And for that wife, sometimes you gotta be a little patient. Cause I give it to my wife. She probably prayed for, I don't know, 15 years before I came around. Her knees are getting kind of ashy. Been on
Weary.
Yeah.
so give us some help her out. Come on, girl, get up off the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do applaud you guys. So I do want to thank you guys for coming on today. And Robin, I don't know if you got any nuggets. I think I may have a few to wrap it up. If you don't have some, my wife always gives these nuggets at the end.
Oh, yay.
Cool.
Robert, did you capture anything? Do you want me to summarize it in my own little way? I think I can.
I will say this, that April and Ryan, you guys didn't realize that what you were doing, you were on the path,
Yeah.
but you didn't realize it
Right.
until talking and saying it out loud. Then you
Mm-hmm.
realize we are on this financial journey,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 and you're doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
People are looking at you,
Thank
bro.
you.
That's my sister. People looking at you
Woo.
because
Ooh.
someone's trying to figure out how can she quit her job and go to
Yeah.
work. And what,
Yeah.
what does she do? But they're afraid to ask you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
afraid to ask
Yeah.
you. So
Mhm.
you lived it and you saying it here out loud now. It'll get a chance to, once the podcast is finished, take it and put it on your website and let people listen to your story, because that may become the story of famous, and we can say we had you first, girl.
Right. Right.
That's true. That's so true.
Not Oprah, but Elvis Russell.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, Oprah, dime on that. I'm gonna sell it for $1 million, y'all.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'll
So,
take it.
but people are listening to y'all, and people are watching
Mhm.
y'all, and sometimes you don't ever know who is gleaning into your life, and they never will tell you. But one day, like that young man gave you that offering, he said, "You know what? I love what I'm hearing from you." You never know who you're going to impact just by what you're doing, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're going to touch people of all walks of life, young, new, and
Yeah.
old. I always tell Brian, I said, "Man, I love your energy on the stage." I said, "You do tend to go over on the clock, but that's okay."
Yeah. Look, and I thank you for giving me that grace, man.
Hey, when it's good, man, you just got to go with it, man.
Yeah.
So, any final parting words of wisdom that you guys, together or individual, that you might want to give people, or words of wisdom, moving forward in this life of pursuit of debt freeness, as my
Um.
friend Dan T would say, the freedom plan.
Yeah.
Freedom plan.
I would say again to the men, just be willing to communicate, and don't be afraid to say that, hey, this is a weak area, or an area that you're not as strong in, and look at it as an area of growth improvement. Because
Okay.
me, like I said, I always made finances out to
Okay.
be this humongous horror story in my head.
Okay. Okay.
But through talking to April, and speaking things out, and our constant communication, as she said, it was not as bad as I made it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Miss Robin, you just brought to light, as well as you, Errol, we were doing it. We just didn't know it, and we didn't
Yeah.
call it that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that would be my little advice?
Mine would be make it fun.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
not fun for me, you might as well just cancel it.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know, make it fun not only for you and your spouse, but make it fun for your children.
Yeah.
And it's
Wow.
not that
Right.
we're idolizing money, but you want them to see that their money is growing.
Wow.
And
Right.
Okay.
you know, to see that that account is growing, it's like, wow, I have this much money, I want to put more in there. So
That's my wife
make
right there.
make it fun for your spouse, make it fun for your entire family, and then watch and see what will happen.
That's good,
And
Mom. Yeah.
and that you won't have to worry about the emergency fund anymore. You know, it'll
Right.
be there, and just watch it build
Right.
up.
Right.
And you know what?
Right.
And I'm gonna throw to that young married couple that's listening. I'm gonna go reverse. It's not gonna sound good, but you'll get it in the long run. Even in your broke moments, make that fun.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when we only had cold water and stuff. April and I trying to see who can stay in the shower the longest. And then even when it came with anything to keep us from crying, and you all have heard me mention 1,000 times about National Pancake Day, going to IHOP, and because the pancakes were
Yeah.
free. And do you guys want to drink? Yeah, we want 2 waters, please. And we just having fun. And final thing is, even when it comes to the children, what blessed me, what it really made me cry, really. Lydia told us, she said, I can't wait for the wintertime. And we said, why? Because it's gonna snow and the lights and stuff gonna be turned off, and we're gonna have to get under the blanket on the couch. And I just kind of smiled. I was like, "Yeah, okay, you're right, Cupcake." Little did she know, during those times, Lydia didn't have the money to pay the bill. And
Perfect
so,
timing.
yeah, and so therefore, to her, it was, hey, shoot, man, this is what we do in the wintertime. This is fun.
And saying all that to say, when you are newlywed, start small.
Start
Don't get
small.
no big
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start with an
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
Learn from us.
Please do.
Yeah.
Start with apartment. Live within your means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because somebody said you need to be in a house, don't mean you need to be in a house right away.
Set your own.
Right.
Set your own.
Set your
Right.
own budget.
Yeah, yeah. So this is what I will also say for words of wisdom, to help you guys out, as a question, I'm hoping you get the answer right. So when you're having a newborn baby, before you have the baby, what is the thing that you always do and require by law to do to the baby? Give it a what?
Give
A name.
a name. Yeah.
A name.
You can't leave the hospital without a baby name, right?
Right.
So I'm saying to you, give your accounts a name. That way you can use it
Yeah.
for what it's intended for.
That's good.
Yeah.
You can't just say we got a bunch of money. Let's go on a trip. Where we get the money from? I don't know the account over here. You want to say this is our
That's so
travel
true.
fund. This is our emergency fund. This is the fund to get a new car. This is the emergency fund for give it what you think was important to you that you want to have and furnish and fund. Because now when you're ready to use that, it's already there. But when you put it in an unnamed account, it becomes unnamed what you're going to use it for. It's going to be everything. It's going to be your everything.
Everything.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So who's the
just made a
introvert when
note.
it comes? You both are extroverts, am I right?
I thought I was an introvert.
I
Am I
am.
not?
You can't tell.
No.
Is
Believe
there
it
such
or
thing
not,
as being an introvert? What's up?
An
How you say
omnivert.
omni?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we are both omniverts.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
and I
yeah.
know you don't believe it because you all see
believe
me on a weekly basis.
I believe it.
But
I'm the same way. I believe it.
I can when I'm home, I'm home. And
There
when
you
I'm
go.
out, I'm out.
Out.
Yeah. Right.
When I'm with people, I'm with people. When I'm by myself, I'm by
We're
myself.
black or white.
Yeah.
If my makeup is done, it's done.
Yeah.
Hair
Okay.
done, clothes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm gonna look like a bum. No, I'm just playing.
That's
Yeah, we're a
good.
little bit of both.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So one more time around, if you want to go ahead and give out your credentials or your website to include your daughter's business,
Yes.
go ahead. Let's start with her first because you didn't mention her. Let's give a shout out to Lydia Dozier there.
Let me
So
give a
go ahead and
shout
let's
out
go ahead and
to
mention those
Lydia.
things, wrap those things around one more time before we can go ahead and close this session up. But I want to say thank you guys. You guys have been tremendous. And believe it or not, you guys are the first couple that we had on too.
Oh
So,
Oh
Yes,
wow!
yes.
so
wow,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Top that, Oprah.
Thank
Top
you.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
yay. Okay, so Lydia Dozier, she is called Lydia's Arm
Okay.
Candy, and she has custom bracelets, customize your name and your favorite charm up there. They're all $8 a piece. She does not have a website right now, but we are working on that. Then scooting over to me, again, my name is April Dozier, and I am a licensed esthetician, makeup artist. You can reach me via website www.adornbeautymua.com, or you can take a look at my lookbooks on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is at adornbeautymua.
All right. And my name again is Ryan Dozier. I am a pastor. I have been in ministry for 21 years. If you would like to connect with me, I am currently working on my website. But if you would like to connect with me, you can email me at bookryanspeaks@gmail.com. That's bookryanspeaks@gmail.com. Or you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at justryan79.
All right. So let me go ahead and give out our credentials here. Ours for our Facebook is Gifted Gen LLC, and Instagram is gift.gen, and on YouTube, just click on the search bar, click on type in Gifted Generation LLC, and then of course our website is gifted generations-llc.com. And as we always say, me and Robin, we say what, Robin? Don't
Don't
forget
forget the
that
dash.
dash. And I want to make sure I got the name right because my wife did say I might have called you Brian by mistake. I do talk fast, so if I missaid anything, I was calling you Brian. I meant to say Ryan. I know
Right?
you.
Man, it's all good, man.
I
We're
know your
used to
name.
it.
I know your name. I know your name. I'm like,
He's
no,
been called Ron,
I've been
Ryan,
Wayne.
Wayne.
I'm like, I know I've been calling him Ryan. I think I have. I don't know. Maybe I did. No.
We know you knew what you
RYAM, I'm
meant.
talking to you. So,
Yeah.
so I do apologize if I misspoke your name because I do
It's
know who you
No
are,
okay.
brother.
problem.
I
It's
No
know who you
problem
fine.
at
are.
all.
So I don't mind being corrected, even in the text, as my wife did. So he's like, get his
Obey
name
your
right, boy.
wife. Obey your
I
wife.
did. I did.
That's
I
right.
did. I did.
That's
I'm
right.
like, I ain't calling him that. Did I? Look, it's on recording so we can play it back and find the truth out. So she probably be right. Well, that would conclude today's session with Ryan and I said Ryan. That's why I say it sounds like Ryan and April Dozier, and with their daughter, lady who's not present right now, but she is definitely present in their lives and also in the
Yes.
church. A great young lady, so to aspiring to be a entrepreneur in her own business and rightful so. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart and from Get to Generation
Yeah.
LLC. You guys are amazing, and we continue to look for things to come from your business in your personal and professional lives. So we
Thank
know who to
you.
call for
Thank
makeup.
you.
We know who to call for MC. We just know who to call. So
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for inviting
Yes.
us.
Thank you all so
yes, it's
much.
been a pleasure. So thank you guys, and that will wrap it up. Yeah, have a good
All
evening.
right.
You
All right,
Good
too.
y'all.
evening.
Have a great evening.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye
All
bye.
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.